Welcome back to the Quantum Leap Charting the Next Decade of Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Nirdosh Jagota. In our last episode, we watched quantum computing take on the hardest problem in the laboratory, simulating molecules to design better drugs. We met the pioneers folding proteins on quantum hardware and building medicines through pure simulation. But today, we leave the discovery lab behind. Today, quantum computing walks through the doors of the hospital. We're going to explore how it will read the story written in your DNA, sharpen the eyes of our diagnostic tools, and help build a treatment plan designed for you and you alone. Today, we meet the quantum doctor. To understand this shift, we need to talk about a new idea: quantum machine learning, or QML. You already know about machine learning. It's the engine behind the AI we've discussed all season. Systems that find patterns in data. Quantum machine learning asks a provocative question. What if we ran those pattern-finding algorithms on a quantum computer instead of a classical one? Here's why that matters. A quantum computer can represent information in an enormously vast, high-dimensional space, far larger than what a classical machine can practically handle. And some of the most important data in medicine is extraordinarily complex and high-dimensional. Think about the human genome, over 3 billion base pairs interacting in ways we are only beginning to understand. The theory behind QML is that a quantum system may be able to spot subtle patterns and correlations buried in that data. Patterns that classical methods might smooth over or miss entirely. I want to be careful and honest here because this field is young. Much of QML's advantage today is still being proven, and many near-term gains actually come from what we call quantum-inspired methods, classical algorithms that borrow tricks from quantum math, and from hybrid systems that pair quantum and classical computers together. But the direction of travel is clear, and the institutions betting on it are serious. Let's start with genomics because this is where the experts see some of the greatest promise. The global consulting firm Deloitte conducted a detailed analysis of quantum computing in life sciences and healthcare. They examined more than 50 potential use cases and distilled them down to the applications with the highest impact. And sitting right near the top of that list was genomic analysis. Why? Because your genome is not a simple instruction sheet. It's a web of billions of interacting variables. Deloitte's analysis highlights how quantum-enhanced pattern recognition could accelerate our understanding of disease, help identify genetic risk factors hidden in that complexity, and speed the development of next-generation therapies. Imagine a future where we can look at your complete genetic profile and predict with real confidence which medication will work for you and which will cause a dangerous side effect before you ever take a single dose. That is the promise of personalized medicine, and quantum computing may be one of the tools that finally delivers it at scale. Alongside genomics, Deloitte flagged two more high-value applications. The first is predictive diagnostics, analyzing vast clinical and real-world datasets to catch diseases earlier and more accurately. The second is population and cohort optimization, using quantum strength in solving complex logistical puzzles to design smarter clinical trials and allocate medical resources more intelligently. Now, this might all sound like a distant dream. So let me tell you about a quantum computer that is right now sitting inside a hospital. In 2023, the Cleveland Clinic and IBM unveiled something unprecedented: the first quantum computer in the world dedicated entirely to healthcare research. It's an IBM Quantum System 1, installed on the Cleveland Clinic's campus as part of a 10-year partnership focused on accelerating biomedical discovery. And this is not sitting idle as a showpiece. Researchers there, including Dr. Feixiong Cheng of the Genomic Medicine Institute, are using it to tackle real problems. One project applies quantum and AI methods to search through genome sequencing data and enormous drug target databases, hunting for existing, approved drugs that might be repurposed to help patients with Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Another team is working on a quantum-enhanced model to better predict cardiovascular risk in patients following surgery. Others are building quantum pipelines to screen and optimize drugs against specific proteins. This is the quantum doctor taking its first steps, not in a science fiction future, but in a working American hospital today. Let's also consider diagnostics and medical imaging. Every day, radiologists interpret scans, MREs, CTs, mammograms, looking for the faintest early signal of disease. Machine learning is already assisting them. The hope for quantum machine learning is to push that sensitivity even further, to detect the earliest, most subtle patterns of a tumor or a disease, potentially catching illness at a stage where it is far more treatable. When you combine quantum-enhanced imaging analysis with the deep genetic insight of quantum genomics, you begin to see the outline of a completely new kind of medicine. One that is predictive rather than reactive. One that is personal rather than one-size-fits-all. And behind the scenes, quantum optimization could quietly transform how hospitals run. Scheduling operating rooms, routing supplies, matching the right patients to the right trials. These logistical gains are less glamorous than curing cancer, but they save real time, real money, and real lives. Now, the honest reality. We are still early. The quantum machines of today are limited, and much of this remains in research and pilot phases. QML is not going to replace your physician, but it will become an extraordinary instrument in their hands, augmenting human judgment with a depth of pattern recognition we've never had before. The doctor stays human, the tools become quantum. We've now seen quantum computing reach from the molecule all the way to the patient's bedside. But as these systems grow more powerful, a difficult question emerges. If an AI or a quantum model recommends a life or death treatment, how does a doctor know they can trust it? Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Quantum Leap. I'm Dr. Nirdosh Jagota. Next time, we confront the black box dilemma, the challenge of building genuine clinical trust in the decisions of AI and quantum medicine. Until then, keep looking to the future.